walking with my feet.
What up, everybody? This is Bones DK Golf. I'm here with TW Man. TW Man, how you doing today?
Feeling good, man. Ready to walk in Memphis.
Yeah, it's the WGC Fedex St. Jude, and we'll get right to it. We could talk about last week how we were so close, but let's just get up how we're gonna start our lineups this week. I'm thinking about lineup construction. Let's talk about the course. So, what do you know about the course?
Well, I do want to mention, before we just glaze over last week at the Olympics, that we posted everywhere on Twitter, Schauffele's going to win gold. Schauffele's going to win gold. It's Sanders' time. Schauffele's going to win gold. He won gold. I mean, I hope you followed us because we were posting that. We predicted it, and it came true. We won some people some money. We won ourselves a little bit of money, too. But, yeah, we faded Pereira in a big spot there that is what it is, right?
Yeah, Mito Pereira is the real deal. I'll just say that right now. We faded him because of chalk, and I am disappointed we did. He was 52% owned in our contest, and there's 70 guys in it, so 35 people owned him, and 35 people did better because he had him. So that was a tough fade, and it just goes to show that sometimes chalk doesn't matter, and you might want to find your differential in the lineup the way you build your lineup, the lineup construction, and not necessarily care about if he's high owned or not. Because in my opinion, chalk doesn't really matter anymore. I think there's too many stats out there. I think there's too many podcasts. And I think it's, sometimes the chalk is good. Like Jonathan Vegas and Mito Pereira were one of the easiest combos we had. And, we overthought it a little bit and went with a guy that was less owned, and he ended up shooting a 78 on Sunday and costing us a lot of money.
Well, one thing you got to remember, too, about chalk is that it's not the same in every event. So number one, what is chalk, right? What's the definitive answer? Is it 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever? And also, an event like last week, there was a no-cut event that only had 60 players where everyone's guaranteed 72 holes. And then you've got some guys from some countries like Zimbabwe and things like that, and India, where they're not huge golf countries in the event, there's a higher propensity to score well in an event like that against the field than there is in a 156-man event where there's a cut. And it's actually a great segue into this week because here we are again with a no-cut event. So we're going to employ the same strategy that we did last week, which is everybody's guaranteed 72 holes. So that takes a little bit of the disparity out from the top and the bottom because there's no cut line where Morikawa makes every cut, DJ makes every cut. So there's some opportunities here to play guys that are aggressive, that have opportunities at big paydays because this is as big a payday as a major. Some good opportunities here for birdie makers.
I think that's the key right there. Is this is one of the biggest paydays in PGA Tour golf of the year, right? I mean, this is one of the biggest ones, even over majors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's as much as the U.S. Open and the Masters, but it's 1.7, 1.8 million, I think.
Yeah,
to the winner.
So this
it's a hefty payday.
So this might be a tournament where Brooks Koepka cares.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, does Koepka? What does he care about? Does he care about thinking that he's the coolest looking dude? Like I'm a real athlete, or does he care about money? I have no idea.
I think he cares about his ego. So I think this tournament matters. To just say he wins one of the biggest purses in golf. I think that does matter to him this week.
Yeah, I mean the WGCs. Remember, these are major-esque fields. You have to qualify for these events based on your world ranking. So, yeah, it's a big event for sure. And I mean, he's won here before. I just don't know if it's the money or what, but I know that the money matters to a lot of these guys that are coming over from Japan, 4 days ago playing in this event, because why else would you be doing it? I mean, Rob, we're talking about jet lag here for some of these guys coming from 13 hours ahead. I watched the event and I'm still jet lagged today.
Yeah.
I was up till 3:30 in the morning watching it. I'm I can't even think straight.
So, yeah, I think that's going to be a part of my lineup construction this week is thinking about those guys flying over Japan. And to be honest with you, my big lineup right now does not have anybody except one person, and it's Cam Smith. Why? I don't know. I just love Cam Smith at no cut events. He can make birdies, and he's only 8,100, I believe, this week. So I'm not trying to get into the pricings this week, but I'm just saying there are 8,200. There are some guys I might play, but most of them were not in Japan last week.
There were two guys that went that I can think of off the top of my head that went from Minnesota to Japan for the Olympics. It was Reed, who hung in there, gutted it out, right, but didn't really produce like a Patrick Reed-esque finish. And Johnny Vegas, who returned ROI, positive ROI, because he was only 7,400. But if he was like 8,200, I don't know. So, I mean, that has to be a reason why those guys weren't in contention to win the event on Sunday or Saturday night or whatever, however you want to think about it. But, 13 or 12 hours, whatever it is, behind. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm still tired from watching that event Saturday night.
I slept 12 hours last night, or yesterday. I needed sleep. I was running on fumes. This stuff is exhausting, especially when you have the lead after 3 days and your team just continues to blow it every Sunday. So, man, I'm just here for a vengeance. I want to win this week, and I'm a little upset. So let's get into it. We're starting with Colin Morikawa at 11,000, Xander 10,800, Brooks Koepka, Spieth, DJ, and Rory. 4 of those guys flying back from Japan, and 3 of them, and 3 of them aren't. Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, and those are my 3 favorite plays in the 10K range. Tell me otherwise.
No, I really can't. I mean, I think right away you go to Koepka, DJ here. Their history is impeccable in big events, in WGCs, and keep this in mind, by the way. If you're a course history tout, like you like looking at course history, and you're looking at Fantasy National, and you're looking at these ones where they have data over the last handful of events. Well, remember that this event was the Bridgestone from up until 2018. So the data at this event from 18 and before is actually at a completely different course, completely different event, completely different state. This course is TPC Southwind, which is just a regular PGA Tour stop since like 1990. I think they've been playing here for like 40 years. But it, generally speaking, was not an event where you got huge fields until FedEx took it over and brought the WGC here 2 years ago. So this is only the 3rd playing of this event at this course. But they've been playing here forever, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of like the British Open and the Open. Like, you're looking at history. There's some guys that just show up there, even though it's a different course every time. However, that is key. Looking at course history here, you don't want to get caught up on that. So, what does Brooks has won at this course before?
Yeah, he won the initial playing of the WGC here in 2019. But like I said, like DJ has won at TPC Southwind at the St. Jude Classic. It just wasn't a WGC. So this event has been played here forever. It's only been a WGC for 2 years. So like Spieth has like no course history here outside of the last 2 years because he didn't come here ordinarily unless it was until it was a WGC event. So just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. Like if you're looking at like, oh, so-and-so won this event in 2017. Well, that was in Ohio or whatever, wherever that was.
Yeah.
Firestone or wherever.
I think that matters. A different course, it pretty much means
nothing. For sure. I mean, what I'm trying to say is like, I've been looking at not just the last 2 years, but I've also been looking at an entirely different event at TPC Southwind. So all that data from like 2012 to 2018, where DJ's won another slew of top tens. Mickelson always plays well here. Harris English plays well here. He won here in 2013.
Harris English. Is there an easier play than Harris English this week?
No, I don't think so. Actually, I mean, we're getting a little like, we're really going down the rabbit hole right now. Like, we haven't even talked about any players necessarily. But like, dude, English, like, it's a 72-hole event. So how could you possibly be afraid of a guy that was top 10 in the official world golf ranking 5 days ago before the Olympics, 2 wins on the PGA Tour. He's won at this course before. Clearly, is like ascending in terms of like guts and glory. We talk about it all the time. Just chew the gum, Harris, right? Just chew the gum. He gets up there, those 6-foot bar putts, and just like chomping on that gum and just knocks it in. I mean, $7,600. There's no way he does. Like, it would be impossible outside of a withdraw for him to not return positively this week, in my opinion. I think he's like probably one of 10 guys that can win it.
I tend to agree. I mean, he just is coming off a win at the Travelers not that long ago, and man, he is just such a clutch player. Being behind that guy is the best feeling, and when you're betting against him, it sucks. So learn your lesson here. Play Harris English. Hey, and this is not financial advice, by the way. But yeah, so we got a little off topic there. I just wanted to, Harris English came up. I love the guy. I'm going to play him. He's up there essentially with Scottie Scheffler, is just always in my top plays. We knew he was going to win eventually. He pulled it off at the Travelers, and we had him then, and it felt great. That was a great time. So anyways, let's get to the top of the list here, and I said it, Brooks, Spieth, and DJ. Honestly, I think it's hands down Brooks. I think it's one of the easiest plays you can play. He's going to be chalk city. I don't care. Remember in the Masters when DJ won, he was 48% owned in a 505-man contest. So sometimes it just doesn't matter. I'm looking at Brooks. But this could be a week, since it's a no-cut event, that you could do a Brooks DJ lineup build. Is that something you're looking at this week? I mean, I'm looking at Spieth as well. But I just feel like learning from last week, I could have took a little gamble. I'm a balanced build type of guy. I'm always balanced build. But here, they're getting 4 rounds. You just need them to make birdies, right?
Yeah, I think it's it's kind of weird to say that you're like nervous about DJ, because he's a guy that, like, obviously he's won more on the PGA Tour than everybody except Tiger and Phil in the last decade. You just kind of worry about like which guy's showing up. This is the one thing I'll say about DJ though. Morikawa is God right now, right? I mean, the guy's winning everything. He's winning majors. He's winning other PGA Tour events. He's top 5 everywhere. He's doing everything, and he still can't eclipse Dustin Johnson in the world golf ranking. And Johnson's been out with Paulina, right? Like on a speedboat in the Colorado River lately. Like, that's just a testament to how good the guy really is. At 10,200, it's a bargain. It's just a bargain. He's the top ranked player in the world in the field, and has won more than all of these guys combined at the top, including Koepka, Schauffele, Morikawa, Spieth. Put them all together, I think DJ's probably got more PGA Tour wins than all those guys combined. So, a guy at 10,200, anytime you're getting him almost at underneath the 10K range, fire him up. 72 guaranteed holes. He's going to make 22 birdies.
Yeah, it was kind of like the other week when I said Morikawa and Spieth starting with them was unfair, and they ended up winning first and second in that tournament. I kind of feel that way right now with Brooks and DJ. I mean, starting your lineup in a big money contest, having Brooks and DJ in the same lineup, let's go. If you want to take that route,
You're right. It's going to be hard to do ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And both are in great form, especially Brooks. I mean, stats-wise, it's Brooks all the way. Spieth actually sticks out there. I think he's a good pivot maybe off them. Again, I haven't even looked at projections on ownership, and I'm not going to this week. I don't care. I'm playing my guys, whether they're high owned or not. So those are just the guys I'm looking at. Then you go down to the 9K range here, and you got JT there lingering. Victor Hovland coming back from Japan and kind of blew it for everybody last week. I projected him to medal and let everyone down a little bit. Then you got Louis Louis Oosthuizen, who I love this week at 9,600. And then you got Bryson. I mean, tell me 8 weeks ago if you thought Bryson was going to be $9,500 and Brooks was going to be 10,600 or whatever, that much over him. Maybe you could have predicted that. I didn't. You got Hideki Matsuyama down here, Patrick Cantley, Berger, and then our boy, Scottie Scheffler. I might get into Scottie Scheffler. Anyone you like out of that range in particular, because I like Scottie Scheffler and Oosthuizen is my two guys.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Like DeChambeau, that is an outlier, man. To see him at 9,500. But we didn't talk much about the course. The course puts a massive premium on hitting fairways. There's a lot of water hazards out here. In fact, it's the number one course in terms of balls in the water on the PGA Tour. So you have to be a good ball striker. So for me, in this range, it's Oosthuizen all day long. I just feel like he's playing the best golf of his career. Still chasing that elusive win on U.S. soil. Man, we talk about him every week. But yeah, he rates out well, like in every aspect right now. He's the number one putter on the PGA Tour. And that's just in addition to being like the silkiest smooth swing on tour. Fairways, greens, putts. He's got it all. He's like the rich man's Sergio right now. So I think in that range, it's clearly it's Sergio there. Or pardon me, Louis.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Are you going to be that guy that like is trying to predict the Louis miscut or like the Louis collapse after a second, 18th, second, third, and second? I'd rather be the guy tailing him in this moment and not trying to fade him and try to be, someone special here.
It's easy.
Yeah. And another guy I just wanted to look at was Bryson, honestly. I wasn't going to bring him up in this show, but 9,500. I just want to look at him one more time. I mean, 9,500. It's pretty cheap for a guy. Yikes. Not that good of stats there. I mean, he gains off the tee, though. Isn't that something you said that matters here? I mean, gaining off the tee, look at that. I mean, he's one of the best drivers in the game.
Well, gaining off the tee and accuracy are different, So, like, in a course where he can grip it and rip it, of course. But, having to hit fairways, he's not a guy that hits a lot of fairways, less than 60%. So,
yeah. So, sorry, Bryson. It's team Brooks this week.
I mean, I think he's a fair play at 9,500. Again, I just, I don't think his game is that good, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's showing. His stats aren't there. It's
quirky. It's weird. It's like, he's set up for like specific courses.
One top 10 since May. Louis has three runner-ups. So that is my decision, is Louis Oosthuizen over Bryson DeChambeau. The guy I wanted to talk about again was Scottie Scheffler. And to be honest with you, I think both of us are thinking this, Wild Man. Is this his tournament to win? And here's why. Eighth, miscut, third, 7th, 47th, 8th. This guy is just due. And I love this guy. He has great irons. Forget the minus point 0.2, whatever there. His irons are there. This guy is a grinder, and he comes up in the biggest moments, the biggest purse in golf right now. Scottie Scheffler, back me on there. Scottie Scheffler to win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything not to like about him. He's been in the final group of some events. He's been, he's had the lead in events coming down the stretch and just hasn't been able to put it together. It's really hard to win on the PGA Tour. Really, really hard. Ask Louis Oosthuizen, right? He's got no wins on U.S. soil. He's got 10 runner-ups in majors. You don't always have to win to produce and play well. I think Scheffler's a guy that, it would be shocking if he didn't win soon. And we're Scottie guys. And so, again, at 9,100, like, I just don't see how you don't fire him up. He shot a 59 a few months ago, on the PGA Tour. He's strung up birdies in a lot of these events. For a no-cut event, I don't see any argument against him finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, so the Scottish Open wasn't on Fantasy National, and that's what kind of threw me off. what I was trying to say is he's trending up. I mean, he went 3rd, 7th, had a tough one at the Travelers, and then coming to 12th, 8th. I've seen guys like this before trend up and win right after this. So I just like where he's at.
Yeah, but look at that finish at the Open. I mean, look at that finish at the Open.
Place.
Like he wasn't even like on TV at the Open. T8. I don't even remember them showing him at the Open.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, oh, there's Scottie again, T8. You know, so yeah, I think he's a little under the radar right now, despite these incredible finishes. And so, yeah, all day long.
Yeah, not to get off topic either, but how isn't there like a red zone of golf? I mean, I would pay a lot of money to see every shot, and they're recording them all. You know they are, because they only show the ones that go in. You know, so
it's the most out of touch organization with their fan base on earth. I mean, it's crazy. It's like they believe that like we're a bunch of white-haired guys wearing Rolexes, and we give a shit about Byron Nelson and Walter Hagen. I heard Azinger mention Bruce Litsky at the Olympics. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what? What?
I mean, that coverage, dude, was torture.
The foundation of the sport right now is being built on gambling and DraftKings. And these young guys like Scheffler and Spieth and Justin Thomas and Fowler and, you know, Morikawa, like, this is the foundation of golf. And the fact that they don't comprehend it, and, like, we think we care about, like, David Fairty's joke. Like, oh, you know, little. I mean, it's a joke.
I want every shot of the whole tournament on like, a red zone. You know? Every shot. I want to know.
Yeah, red zone golf would be incredible.
And I think we have an audience to pay for it. I think all of us would pay for it. I mean, it's torture. No stat tracker at the Olympics? I mean, that was tough to watch, man. At least for me. I mean, we are in the mix. I was in the mix. And
look, we backed Carl Yuan in the big spot. It didn't see a damn shot. I was not convinced he even existed as a real person.
The only shot I saw of him was like, the commercials came on, and there was like a small box, you know, and it said Carl Juan. I just freeze my TV to make sure it was actually him, and he was actually playing.
You missed the one shot that they showed where he was like digging his ball out of the weeds. He's like searching through the weeds.
Yeah, I mean, hey, again, I like the idea. It seemed like he was there to play. But anyways, on to the 8K range. And, you know, again, there's actually not much I like here except Cam Smith. You get a lot of guys coming over from Japan. You got Tony Finau, who just loves the water. You know, the guy, I mean, he has more water shots than anyone I know on tour. One guy I think is interesting is Matthew Fitzpatrick. I'm not there on Reed this week. I'm not there on Lowry. I know you might have a take on Webb Simpson. Neiman, answer, Cam Smith, he's the only guy that really pops out to me. I think he can continue to do it. Who pops out to you besides Cam Smith in this range? Anyone?
Well, here's what I'll say about Cam Smith real quick is just that, like, his putter really carries him. Like, he can't putt any better than he putts. So I feel like he's ready to regress. And obviously coming back from Japan, I you know, he might be able to make some birdies, but it's not a spot I like. I mean, he can't keep running in these 40-footers. You know, and to be doing it the way he's doing it and still not being able to win anything is scary. So I'm a no on Cam Smith this week, although I do like him. Yeah, Webb Simpson's the guy I want to talk about. Like, top 15 in the world, 8,500, under the radar, can fill it up, has great finishes here in the past at TPC Southwind. Generally speaking, a good long iron player. Good when he gets the putter going, and a guy that I think can hit it straight enough to produce here. I mean, he has before. I don't see why he wouldn't again. And you know, 8,500, like he's sort of just like blending in there in the middle. Like this isn't Tony Finau. This is a guy that's won the U.S. Open, won the Players Championship. This guy's legit.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you with Webb. he withdrew on me earlier in the year and cost me a lot of money, and I'm not holding him against it. I get it, but it just doesn't seem like he's fully back yet. And though he has a 19th at the Open, I mean, look at his driver here off the tee to green, his irons. It typically I'd say that's a no-brainer, 8,500. Seriously, I agree with you. He seems underpriced, but I think I'm still going to fade him this week. I mean, I don't know. I can't find a way to make him into my lineup. And to be honest with you, it's because I'm doing more of a stars and scrubs build this week. I'm trying to fit in a lot of those top 3 guys and taking risks because there's no cut this week. So I think there's a chance that you can take a lot of risks, especially some cheap guys this week that we'll get into. So, yeah, I'm pretty much a fade on this range. Some guys were talking about Corey Connors here. Look at Corey Connors' birdies, and this is just for the guys because I got a few lineups sent to me. Corey Connors' birdies, 11, 9, 3, 12, 15, 13, 10, 13, 19, 16. Pass. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the DraftKings points. Don't even look at the birdies. Like, the guy never scores over 80 DraftKings points, ever.
Yes. We backed him before, and we've lost. Anyways, moving on to the 7K range. This is my favorite range. I'm going to have a lot of my guys in here, and I think a lot of these guys have a chance to produce a lot. I'm going to start with Jason Kokrak. You talk about a good driver. The guy's irons, recent form, 9th, 8th, 9th, 13th, 1st, 12th, 26th. This guy's playing the best golf of his career right now, and I don't want to miss out on him. 22 birdies, 23 birdies here, 20 down here. Clearly he can do it, and I'm not sure if he has good history here. Wildman, you might be able to back me on that one, but I really like Jason Kokrak. He's just a different player this year, and I don't want to miss out on his success.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think you nailed it there, too. Like, he's playing the best of his career. He just won for the first time in the PGA Tour not long ago. And so he doesn't have like a ton of history in the WGC and the majors because he's really emerging as a player right now. But we've talked about Kokrak for years. I mean, great tee to green player, and was always snake bit by the putter. And it feels like he's kind of figured it out. And all of a sudden he's showing up. So again, no cut event, an aggressive player in this type of event. I love him. We already talked about Harris English. The other guy I'll mention, it's in the 7K range, is Sergio. I mean, he's the best tee to green player, arguably, on the tour right now. But he is putting like left-handed, essentially. Like, he cannot make a putt. I mean, look at those numbers. It's green everywhere.
Except, look at my bottom right-hand corner here. Minus 7.3.
Look at that. That's crazy. I mean, look at those approach numbers, though. I mean, certainly in the short term, he's been dialed in. He cannot putt. Yeah. I would say flip a coin with Sergio this week.
I think it's the toughest decision of the week in this range, and we'll go down. I mean, Jason Kokrak and Harris English are by far my 2 favorite plays up top. And then you get to this 4 guys right here. I mean, 3 guys. I like English. You get Harman, Hatton, and Garcia. And you saw on my Twitter earlier in the week, I think Hatton is underpriced. And I don't know what his world ranking is right now. I didn't do my research before that, but I know he was a top 15 player not that long ago. And I just, those guys surrounding him, I think this is kind of an easy play. I mean, 21 birdies at the Scottish Open with an 18th place. And don't be scared about these majors. You know why? Because the guy sucks at majors. He always has. And that is what he's known for. That's his bugaboo. But give him a tournament like this, the WGC, I feel like this is kind of a tournament he shows up at. So don't sleep on Tyrrell Hatton. He is a very, very good player. Coming off 21 birdies recently. Don't forget he's a pro and can recover any day. So just look at Tyrrell Hatton there. The other guy I'm looking at is Brian Harman, and it's kind of like the Jason Kokrak argument. I just think this guy's playing the best golf of his career. 8th, 19th, 5th, miscut, 19th. He is not slowing down, and this is coming back from March. I mean, you talk about March. He goes 3rd, 12th, 13th, 18th cut. And like, it's Brian Harman. He's done now. No, 8th, 19th, 5th, cut 19th. So trending up. This guy is a DraftKings machine. We've always said that before, and that's why we started picking him, when he was $6,800 back in the day, and now he's gone up a little bit in price. But that is my true predicament this week: is Sergio, Hatton, or Harman, or English, I guess. But I like English out of the 4, and so who do I pair up there with English? Right now, wild man, I'm leaning Sergio Garcia because I just see the results is similar. Honestly, in Harman and Garcia, I see birdie makes are pretty similar. The only thing I see different is the stats. And Sergio is really dialed in right now. If you look at all the history, strokes gained approach is the number 1 stat, ball striking in this tournament that wins typically. So I think Sergio is really, really close.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'll add to that is that I think in a cut event, I would lean towards Hatton. In a no-cut event, I think I like Harman as the best birdie maker of those 3. But didn't Hatton have like 3 eagles in a single round like a month ago?
Let's check it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 10th or 12th in the world ranking right now. So seeing that type of player at 7,400 is definitely strange. But he is not produced in the biggest spots.
That's true. He doesn't. I mean, he has terrible history in the majors. He really, really does.
Yeah, I wonder what his ownership is going to be like, because that is a weird position for him. Like he's like 8,900 at majors.
Yeah.
And now he's 7,400 at the FedEx St. Jude. So that is strange.
I kind of, that's why I sent that tweet. I just wanted to see who is thinking about, does anyone see Hatton as sticking out? Not one person responded Hatton.
I did.
Yeah, you did right away. You're the first answer. No one else. Other people said Zalatoris. I am XZ on Zalatoris. I'm out on Zalatoris this week. For any Zalatoris backers out there, I'm Jason Kokrak. So yeah, I mean that's really the biggest argument here. You get down to the 6K range, and like I said, you can take a little gamble down here. There's some juicy names: Cam Davis, Matthew Wolff, Sam Burns, Cameron Champ. Guys that just rake in birdies typically. Carlos Ortiz, who literally lost us $30,000 last week. God damn it, Carlos Ortiz. I don't know if I'm going back to him. Not in that moment. He really choked there. Honestly, there's one guy that sticks out to me. I think it's Sam Burns. His stats are really there if you look him on fantasynational.com. And, he had 24 birdies, 21 birdies. I know you're a little hesitant on Burns, Wild Man, because this is his first WGC. But, who are the plays down here? I mean, there's a couple juicy plays. I'm not going back to Ortiz. I don't think Homa can do it. I'm looking at Cameron Champ, Sam Burns.
I'll tell you who's like the antithesis of, well, I shouldn't say that, but Matthew Wolff at 6,800.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of like Sergio, isn't he? Like, really good off the tee, really good iron player. His best is as good as anybody's, but just a horrendous putter. 6,800 seems like very, very cheap for him. I do like Cameron Champ. I will not be going Ortiz. And I'll give you the flyer of the week right now. I don't know how much of a flyer of the week it is in a no-cut event.
Hey, yo.
And the fact that he's a major champion this year. It's Mickelson. $6,600,
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
I mean, this guy's history at TPC Southwind is flawless. I mean, it really is flawless. He's gone like second. He had like a 50th in there. 11th, 12th, 3rd, 9th, 2nd, 3rd, 9th. I mean, this guy's flawless at TPC Southwind, which is ironic because he's not a great player off the tee and certainly not the most accurate player off the tee. But, man, is he a wily veteran, a guy I think could produce big time here. And again, in a no-cut event, I think we talked about this yesterday or the day before, like, give me 72 holes with Phil and convince me he's not going to make 20 birdies.
Yeah. That's a good take, actually, Phil Mickelson. I was not expecting that coming from left field, right field, the lefty. Yeah, I mean, There's a couple other guys I'd look at down here. A couple people mentioned Stuart Sink. I'm not on him. Not on Siwoo Kim. I think Ryan Palmer is interesting. Had a 15th place here last year. No cut event. He had 20 birdies at the Scottish Open. It seems to be that the Scottish Open was a high birdie event. So, a lot of people were scoring a lot of birdies there. But coming off a fourth, I think people are going to be scared of him. But also a terrible major event competitor. The Open Championship cut, the U.S. Open cut, the PGA Championship cut shows up everywhere else. So I wouldn't be too scared about this event. 3 majors, 3 missed cuts. Is he really that good? That's why he's 6,500. But hey, 20 birdies and an eagle will get it done this week. So I'm looking at Ryan Palmer. I'm not saying he's a definite play or not, but that's the one guy I would play in the 6K range. And also Cam Champ. I actually wanted to get your opinion real quick on Cam Champ because there are a lot of our followers bringing him up. 19 birdies, 21 birdies. Is this sustainable, Wildman, Cameron Champ?
Well, I think so. I mean, look, he's a 3-time PGA Tour winner. He didn't just find lightning in a bottle last week. I think I saw a stat. It was something like how many guys have won 3 times before the age of 25 on the PGA Tour in the last X amount of years, and it was like Tiger, Spieth, JT, Morikawa, and Cameron Champ. So he's like in a camp of some good players. The thing I'll say about Champ is that this course really, really rewards long and straight off the tee. And he's like the best player off the tee, if not, one of the top 3 players off the tee on the PGA Tour. So I think there's a good chance that he plays well this week. Palmer, don't forget about Ryan Palmer, that we're headed into the 11th hour for the Ryder Cup in September. And I think he's like a fringe type of player as a veteran. Winning at a course like this, coming into it, might catch Steve Stricker's eyes as the captain and, give Palmer an opportunity to be on that team. I think it's a long shot, but certainly something to remember for a lot of these American guys that, the Ryder Cup's coming up here in a month.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he's only $6,500. Talk about taking a risk on a guy that is pretty good, that just makes birdies. Ryan Palmer's right there. So that is going to be it. We already got the flyer of the week. I think I've mentioned everyone I wanted to so far. Any last takes, Wildman?
No, I mean, look, I think we're putting some weight on Scottie Scheffler this week. I like Oosthuizen this week. I think Harris English will be in the top 10. Yeah, I mean, that's about as far as I'm going to go. I will tell you this. If Sergio can finish in the top, 30% of the field in putting, he's going to win the event.
Yeah, I like that Sergio call. I hate to play him again, but I might go down with the ship on him. I mean, there are a couple, tough decisions to be made. Brooks, Spieth, DJ, and then you go down to that 7K range. And when I'm talking about stars and scrubs, I'm talking about building a lot of these low 7K with a lot of these upper 9 and 10K guys. I don't like pretty much anyone in the 8K range except maybe Cam Smith. So that's how I'm going to build my lineups this week.
This is one last thing I want to say before signing off. If you're listening this far, this is usually where we give the some very important information. This is an event where all you got to do is tee it up to get your paycheck. It's a guaranteed paycheck, which is why you see so many of these guys coming over from the Olympics and teeing it up. If some of these guys like Morikawa and Reed, go out and shoot 75 on the opening round and just can't do it, don't be shocked to see a withdrawal. So I would be very, very, very wary of starting guys that played in the Olympics.
That's great intel, and I tend to agree with you, and that's why, after this podcast, I'm going to rearrange my lineups. I'm going to delete everything I've made and restart. Hey, well, Wild man, thank you for joining. Guys, thank you. Bones DK fam, we were close last week. Edge is out somewhere doing something. Maybe we'll get another podcast out, but we wanted to give you a little earlier episode. I'll be out in the mountains tomorrow hiking, enjoying Mother Nature, and hopefully winning a lot of money this weekend. Wild man, so close last week. Keep up the momentum.
Yeah. Hit up Bones DK Golf on Twitter. If you have any questions in the 11th hour, we're happy to help.
Yeah. And good luck, everyone. Let's win some money.
Good luck out there.